Imagine you're sailing in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. The night is dark, the waves are high, and suddenly, torpedoes explode around your ship. Chaos, screams, ships sinking before your eyes. You try to escape, but you realize there's no way out. Somewhere, unseen beneath the waves, a silent, invisible predator is hunting you. These are the wolf packs, elite submarines operating in total darkness, coordinated with terrifying precision, striking fear into convoys that supplied entire nations. And what you think you know about them is only half the story. The real secrets, the tactics, and the strategies were hidden from the world until now. In the next 30 minutes, we will uncover the hidden truth behind the wolf packs, their missions, their cunning, and the human stories of those who survived and those who did not. Everyone has heard about the deadly wolf packs of the Atlantic, submarines that seemed unstoppable, silently stalking convoys and striking without mercy. But the reality behind these attacks was far more complex, far more dangerous, and far more fascinating than most people realize. The wolf packs were not simply submarines roaming the ocean. They were highly coordinated, secretive units operating across thousands of miles of open water, using advanced tactics, intelligence, and human skill to outwit and destroy Allied shipping. Today, we dive deep into the organization, strategies, and hidden stories of the wolf packs, uncovering secrets that few have ever understood. The term wolf pack was coined by the German Kriegsmarine to describe coordinated attacks by groups of submarines on Allied convoys. At first glance, these attacks appeared chaotic, but every move was meticulously planned. Each operation relied on detailed intelligence, including reconnaissance reports, decrypted communications, and radar intercepts. The first wolf pack operations began in 1940, and by 1941, they had become a central element of Germany's naval strategy in the Atlantic. At the peak, a single wolf pack could consist of over a dozen U-boats, spread across hundreds of miles, functioning as a single, deadly unit. Each submarine had a specific role within the pack. Some acted as scouts, positioned far ahead to spot convoys. Others were designated attackers, ready to strike once the convoy was located. Commanders relied on encrypted messages transmitted through the Enigma machine to coordinate positions, movements, and timing. Even a small error could doom an operation. This level of precision required absolute trust and discipline among crews, who often had never met in person. One notable early operation occurred in September 1940, targeting a convoy of 38 merchant ships bound for Britain. Within a single week, the wolf pack sank 11 ships and damaged several more. What made this operation remarkable was the level of coordination. Submarines attacked simultaneously from multiple directions, forcing the convoy's escorts to split their defenses and leaving ships vulnerable. Survivors later recounted the terrifying experience. Explosions in the night, torpedoes striking without warning, and the sense of invisible predators lurking beneath the waves. Did you know that many U-boat commanders were in their early 20s? Despite their youth, they bore enormous responsibility, navigating vast oceans, coordinating complex attacks, and making split-second tactical decisions under life-or-death pressure. Gunther Preen, for example, became famous for his audacious infiltration of the British naval base at Scapa Flow in 1939, sinking the battleship HMS Royal Oak. His daring exploits exemplified the skill, bravery, and ingenuity expected of wolf pack leaders. The wolf packs used a variety of tactics that made them terrifyingly effective. Night surface attacks allowed submarines to maneuver undetected under cover of darkness, positioning themselves around a convoy before launching a coordinated strike. Multiple U-boats would fire torpedoes simultaneously, creating confusion and chaos among the convoy's defenses. Decoy tactics were also common. Some U-boats would feign retreat, drawing escorts away from the main target. Supply logistics were another hidden advantage. Specialized supply submarines allowed U-boats to refuel and resupply far from home ports, enabling them to remain on patrol for weeks. Another famous attack occurred on Convoy SC-7 in October 1940. Despite heavy escort, 7 U-boats attacked in waves, sinking 20 ships over several days. Survivors described the horror. Explosions in the night, merchant ships sinking before their eyes, and the relentless presence of submarines beneath the waves. This operation highlighted the deadly combination of strategy, coordination, and human endurance that defined wolf pack operations. The crews themselves endured unimaginable conditions. Submariners spent weeks confined in tight, dark, humid compartments. Food was limited, and boredom and tension were constant companions. Maintaining morale, discipline, and trust was crucial. Many submarines were lost, and survival rates were grim. Despite this, the human stories that emerge from these operations are remarkable. Tales of ingenuity, heroism, and survival that remain legendary today. Did you know that the wolf packs also experimented with new technologies? Advanced torpedoes, acoustic tracking systems, and even early reconnaissance seaplanes extended their capabilities. These innovations allowed U-boats to detect, track, and attack convoys more efficiently than ever before. Some submarines tested stealth tactics, using thermal layers in the ocean to hide from sonar detection. The combination of human skill and technological innovation made the wolf packs a nearly unstoppable force for several years. Coordination was key to their success. Encrypted communications allowed commanders to direct operations across hundreds of miles of ocean. The Allies initially struggled to break these codes, giving the wolf packs a critical advantage. By 1941 to 42, British cryptanalysts at Bletchley Park began to decipher Enigma messages, allowing Allied convoys to reroute and strengthen defenses. This marked the beginning of the end for the U-boat's dominance. Yet the lessons of their tactics remain instructive to this day. In addition to attacks, wolf packs engaged in strategic deception. Some submarines simulated attacks in one area to draw escorts away, while others positioned themselves to intercept ships attempting to escape. The wolf packs were not just hunters. They were planners, strategists, and masters of psychological warfare on the high seas. Their operations demanded constant attention to detail, from weather patterns to convoy schedules, from fuel limitations to crew fatigue. By 1943, the tide began to turn. Allied technological advances, including sonar, radar, and long-range patrol aircraft, significantly increased the risk to U-boats. Losses mounted, and the once feared wolf packs faced ever-increasing dangers. Yet, even in these later years, the skill, discipline, and audacity of the U-boat crews remained impressive. The legend of the wolf packs endures not only because of their destructive power, but because of the combination of strategy, secrecy, and survival. These submarines were elite units operating in the shadows, executing complex maneuvers over thousands of miles of open ocean. They combined intelligence, innovation, and human endurance in a way that few naval forces have ever matched. In conclusion, the wolf packs of the Atlantic were more than a naval weapon. They were a testament to human ingenuity, courage, and the power of coordination. Their story is one of strategy and survival, a tale of skill and secrecy that few outside the Atlantic theater truly understood. The Atlantic was their hunting ground, secrecy their weapon, and precision their shield. Now you've seen the hidden story behind one of history's most famous naval tactics, a tale of skill, risk, and endurance that continues to fascinate historians and enthusiasts alike.